Hey everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. I am your host, Brooke Wright.
Hi everyone, welcome back to She Burbs Podcast. Today's guest is Cathy Nesbitt. Hi Cathy.
Hi Brooke.
Thank you so much for being a guest today.
Oh, I'm excited. Thank you for having me.
So Cathy is a speaker, a worm advocate, eco-pioneer. I don't think I pronounced that right. Laughter yoga, a health and wellness, and organo gold. I don't know what those are, but can you tell our listeners what inspired you to become a worm advocate?
Yes, beautiful. I love it. Let's start with the worms. That's my main gig. I mean, for 19 years, I started my worm business in 2002, and I'm advocating indoor composting with worms.
Oh, nice. So why? Like, what do they do? Like, do they help the dirt or the food grow, or how does it work?
Yeah, thank you. So it's the same idea as outdoor composting, which is just a matter of, it's nature's way of converting our food scraps and paper into, or our yard waste into fertilizer or soil. So it's returning the nutrients back. That's outdoor composting. This is the same idea. It's done inside the house or inside your apartment, your business, your school, with worms. And they're in a container, food scraps and paper, and then the worms eat all of it and turn it into a soil amendment.
Wow, really? How long does it take for them to eat it? Like, wow.
Right. It's a process. It's a beautiful thing. So I know it may be a new concept for people. This is the easiest way for all of us, something all of us can do to help mitigate climate change. You know, we just finished the COP26 conference in Scotland. Because we were just talking about Germany. That's why. That's hilarious. And, we all eat, we all create food waste. And that's that rotting, smelly stuff. Like it was, yesterday's dinner, but today it's rotting and attracts rodents and flies and stuff if it's not properly managed. So putting it in a worm bin, it's aerobic, meaning with oxygen, so it doesn't smell. It turns that material back into something we can grow more nutrient-rich food. So it's a wonderful thing. Rather than trucking that stuff around, we get to just manage it on site.
Oh, nice. So when the worms eat it, so I'm trying to get this. So whenever you plant like cucumbers or apples or vegetables, then you use the worms, like you plant the worms in there, or is it the worms compost? Like whenever they are finished eating and all that stuff, then you plant that in there. Like I'm trying to get it.
Yeah, no, it's perfect. Thank you. These are great questions. So it's actually the worm poop. So they eat the food scraps and they eat the paper, and then their poop is the compost.
Oh, okay.
It's the soil. Yeah.
Nice. And it's good for the vegetables and stuff. Like we can still wash them off and eat it, even though it's worm poop.
Absolutely. Yes, it's really just soil. So what happens when plants grow? The nutrients come up through the plant into the vegetable, whatever. And if we take those scraps and do anything other than compost them, we're robbing the soil of those nutrients. Yes, we can grow something else, but it doesn't have the same, nutrient content that the last one did.
Oh, okay. That's neat. I never knew that about worms. Like I didn't know. So why are worms so important to you? Like why use worms? Like I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, no, they've been around for millions of years. I feel like they've been waiting to serve, to help us with our garbage crisis. In 2002, the landfill for the Greater Toronto area closed. So I'm in Canada, just north of Toronto. And 6 million people live in the Greater Toronto area. Half live in condos or townhouses without space to do composting outside. So all of their scraps are going to landfill. So rather than trucking all that material around, we can manage it on site. And I believe the worms are the vehicle because it can be done inside then. Composting inside would be very difficult without the worms because they speed up the process. It's aerobic again, as I mentioned, meaning with oxygen. So it doesn't smell like rotting food.
Okay. So do you have to have a lot of worms at one time? Like you have a whole box or a bucket of worms and you just put them on the compost? I mean, put them on the trash?
Yes, yeah, great. So the amount of worms you have will determine how much food you can put in. If you have a pound of worms, you can add, they eat about half their weight per day in food scraps. So a pound of worms, half a pound per day in scraps, 3 to 4 pounds per week. So it's substantial when you think about, how many families there are. If everybody was managing even 3 to 4 pounds per week, that would add up to quite a bit of food that we're managing, right? That we're not adding into the landfill.
Ooh, that's neat. I might use that. Like I'm like sitting there thinking about how could I save on my compost. Like, okay. I did not know that worms were this helpful. Like I just thought they were good for fishing. But wow, that's neat.
Yeah, so beautiful.
So can you tell our listeners what laughter yoga is?
I can. So laughter yoga, thank you. I've been doing my worm business since 2002. Oh gosh, and my goal is to put worms in every living space. About maybe 2012, I was like, how am I going to put worms in every living space? One more person said, ew, worms in the house. And I was like, oh gosh, this is hard. Maybe I should get a job. Haha, who would have me? Ha ha ha. And then I was introduced to laughter yoga. So laughter yoga saved my worm business. It helped me stay in my business. So laughter yoga is not about fancy pants or poses. It's not doing yoga and laughing. It's simply laughter exercises.
Oh.
Yeah, started in 1995 by a medical doctor, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his goal is world peace through laughter.
Wow, that is neat. So how does laughter help though? Like how does it create world peace? Like where did they come about?
Wonderful. So have you ever heard laughter's the best medicine?
Yeah, I have.
Right? Everyone's heard that, and it's the truth. Laughter is the best medicine. When we're laughing, so there's so many benefits. Here's a few. When we're laughing, we're secreting the love drugs: dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. When we're stressed, we're not breathing properly and we're secreting cortisol.
Oh.
Like, first of all, when we're stressed, we're not healing. We can't heal when we're stressed. We're just trying to get out of stress. Mm-hmm. We're going into fight, flight, or freeze. And it's so the laughter, like during this cuckoo time that we're in, we have a mental health tsunami on our hands. It was here before. It's bigger now. Like there's more people affected. More people are on their own. They're isolated, alone. And I know you've covered this on your podcast. Thank you. It's really important topic. People feel so alone. The woman that wanted to remain in the psych ward just to be with people. Mm-hmm. Right.
Oh yeah, like on my last interview. Yeah.
Yes.
He did not want to be alone. He did not want to be alone at all.
I keep pulling my thing out. You gotta laugh. Okay. Yeah. So laughter connects us. So how laughter works, it's clapping and chanting. So you just it's just gentle movements, and it's really connecting. In person, we would, it's a lot different in person, but during this time when we're all, locked down and shut in and afraid of everybody, I'm laughing because we have to laugh. So on Zoom, it's a beautiful thing. We do encourage people to have gallery view so we can see everybody. And then there's clapping and chanting. So making eye contact. And there's a mantra and a rhythm. So you go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, or ho, ho, ha, 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 just to get into it. And what doing this reminds us, whenever we hear this, when we go to clubs, then we're like, oh yeah, ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And then you automatically get into the mantra. You're deep breathing, you're moving your diaphragm. So it's like internal jogging for your body. Your diaphragm is attached to all of your organs. And you can't just ha ha ha. You have to ha 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 ha, ha ha ha, right? So you're just like, oh, it's like a party for your body without doing any, you don't have to do any drugs. You don't have to drink. You don't have to pay for a gym membership. You can go to a laughter club and get all the benefits. 10 to 15 minutes of sustained belly laughter is equivalent to about 300 sit-ups.
Oh, wow. Really? I did not know that at all.
Right?
Wow. Then you're going to have me sitting over here laughing for exercise. Wow.
And, like, again, back to this cuckoo time that we're in, people they're depressed, they're anxious, they're frustrated. We're afraid. We don't know what the heck is happening, what's coming next, like another wave, another strain, another booster. What the heck is happening? We don't even know. So laughter brings us to the present. We're not thinking about yesterday. We're not thinking about tomorrow, pandemic, job. How am I going to eat? Now they're talking about prices going up for everything. It's really scary. And then you just stop breathing. So this just like helps. It frees us. It frees us, Brooke, where we can be like laughing, ha, 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 ha. Ah, so wonderful. Yay. And even just for the moment, as soon as we smile, we send a note to our brain. Hey, I must be happy. I'm smiling.
Right. Wow. I did not know that at all.
Wow.
Oh. So what are some of the topics that you speak about? Like whenever you do the Zoom thing, what are some of the things you say? Do you just, have them do the exercise and that's all? Or like, how is the process?
It's not a lot of talking. Like, to be honest, as the leader, you introduce it, whatever, but then you just do the games and all of so there's little activities to inspire the laughter. You start with the kind of clapping, chanting, deep diaphragmatic breathing. And then there's little games, like you would say, have your cell phone. So you go, you pull it, and it's all imagination and creativity. So you would pull out your cell phone, pretend, and you're like, imagine, and you have everyone do this. Imagine everyone that we're having a conversation with somebody, and it's so funny. So you just start, you're like, just like, right? And everyone's on their cell phone, but just pretend, laughing. And then between activities, we would say, very good, yay. Because it's about acting like children. If you look at kids, they're like, what are those kids up to? They're just laughing. Join in. Right? We don't play enough, Brooke. We're so serious. And we're not laughing at anything. Like, there is a lot of things going on in the world that are not very funny.
Right.
It's not about jokes or comedy. It's not about understanding what is happening. It's laughing for the health of it.
I love that because my uncle, he was diagnosed with cancer and he's a comedian. And when he finished his last bit of chemo, he doesn't have cancer anymore, thank God. He's funny. So whenever I call him, he's always making me laugh all the time. Like, even if I'm at work, I'm like dying laughing. And I'm like, why are you so silly? And he's just like, so, and laughter does help, because when I'm in a bad mood at work and feeling some type of way at work, I call him and he has jokes. Like,
brings you up.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I don't know why I'm laughing, but this is funny. But you're right, laughter does help. It does help, especially during this time of the pandemic, and people are committing suicide. There's just too much stuff going on.
So there's too much stuff going on because we're so afraid,
Yeah, I agree. I want to thank you so much, Cathy, for coming on my podcast today and chat with me.
Oh, I'm so grateful, Brooke. Thank you.
You have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hey, everyone. I want to thank you all so much for listening to my interview with Cathy. So I have linked the website below. From my website, it's the Cathy Nesbitt, and you just go in her link and check out her websites. I've linked all of her websites and all of her organizations, everything. So you all can check it out. It is amazing. I know I always use the word amazing, but this is amazing. All of my guests are amazing. And I've learned so much about worms that I didn't even know about. Like, I did not know worms was so useful, except for fishing. But I want to thank you all so much for listening to my podcast. Thank you all so much for your input, your thoughts. Thank you all so much for being guests. Thank you all so much for being inspired and inspiring. I hope you all have a great day and make great choices. Bye.